Hello, welcome or welcome back to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. Here on the channel you'll find me chatting about my adventures in knitting, spinning, crochet and weaving, all of the fibre related things. Today's video is my September making plans video, and if you are new to the channel you may not be aware that I am by no means a monogamous maker. I tend to cast on with abandon whatever takes my fancy, and it does mean that I end up with quite a few works in progress hanging around waiting to be worked on, which is fabulous. It's exactly how I like to work. Now I know that some people find that really stressful, but I really don't. However, what I can do if I'm not careful is procrastinate with my making. As in, I will sit down of an evening or a weekend when I have time to work on my projects, and with so much choice, so many works in progress to choose from, I can end up sort of dithering about what I actually want to work on, and if I'm not careful I can sometimes end up working on nothing. So in order to try and prevent that from happening, I have this last little while started a fun little game of chance to try and help me to narrow down my projects and focus in on a few things to work on throughout the following month. So I have a multi-sided dice and some prompt cards that I've made for myself, and I do 4 rolls of the dice and pick my projects for the coming months. So that's what we're going to do today. So without further ado, let's get on with the dice rolls. So there we go, 4 rolls, 4 prompts. Some of them I'm happy with, some of them I'm a bit on the fence about. And I was actually on the fence entirely about doing this video because I do have a test knit to work on, which is a sweater, and I would really like to have it finished by the end of September. So I wasn't even sure whether I'd be able to work on any of the dice roll projects, but as luck would have it, one of the dice rolls was for number 1, and my number 1 prompt card is to pick up my newest cast on, and my newest cast on happens to be my test knit, so I can happily play the game and also hopefully meet my test knit commitment. The other 3, I'm not sure exactly how much work is going to happen on these projects, but I also know that if I try and set myself a hard and fast rule of only working on one project, i.e. my test knit, I will end up having an argument with myself in my head and being very stubborn about the fact that I can only work on one thing, and then I'll be throwing my toys out of the pram and say nope, I'm not going to work on that. So I end up scrolling through my phone and wasting time procrastinating again. Which is entirely what we're trying to avoid with this game. So I am going to pick projects for all 3 of the other prompts, and if I get to work on them it will be a bonus. I think there will be occasions we're going away for a weekend to visit some friends, so there will be occasions where I won't necessarily want to drag a sweater project with me, so I'm hoping to maybe come up with a couple of small projects that I could use for out and about knitting or times when I need a little bit of a break from the test knit. So in no particular order, actually let's tackle dice roll number 2, which is cast on a new project. And we had this one last month. Honestly, the dice are not being kind to me because at the moment, as I said last month, the last thing I really want to do is cast on a new project. However, I'm going to hold that one in reserve because the fabulous West Yorkshire Spinners, the British yarn company, have just come out with their seasonal colourway, and it's a beautiful colourway. I think they made it just for me, called Gingerbread. And it's these beautiful sort of ginger, so the rusty orange, however you like to think of it, striped sock yarn with some other bands of colour in there. So I'd quite like to cast those on, so that might be something that I use my cast on for, so we shall see. I'm not going to definitely commit to that because there are a couple of other things that I need to cast on as well, and my dad has been nagging me to knit something that he wants to gift to someone else, so I might have to satisfy that for my dad. So yeah, we'll see. I can come up with something to cast on for sure, but it's a pretty low priority for the month, but if I get to it, brilliant. The third prompt was number 12, and that is to knit a shawl project. And I've just had a little scroll through my Ravelry works in progress list, and I actually have 2 shawl projects, 2 possibilities to pick for this prompt. And the first one is my macaire, I think it's macaire. I know that I was told how to pronounce this and I've completely forgotten, so I apologise if you've already corrected my pronunciation for this project, but it is this one. The macaire, I'm going to say macaire wildflower shawl, which is a pattern by Emma Vining, and I cast this on not so long ago using some Berlin Yarn Company yarn, and it's a fabulous asymmetric shawl with eyelets and bobbles, so that is definitely something that I could pick up and work on for the next month. However, I think as that's a relatively new cast on, I might actually go back to one of my 12 cast on projects, because if you watched my most recent video that's gone up on the channel, my sock knitting video, my pattern scroll sock knitting video, you will know that of the 12 projects that I cast on around Christmas and New Year, I've actually only finished 2. And we are rapidly approaching the end of the year again, so I need to up my game with my 12 cast on projects. So on day 2, I believe, my project will tell me, yes, day 2, I cast on a lovely shawl project, a pattern by Tammy Gore called the Love Your Stash shawl, I think. I've got the pattern printed out, but I don't have the title page, so if I'm wrong, I will definitely correct myself on the screen. And I cast this on, as I say, on day 2 of my 12 cast on adventure, and I got this far. And I'm using a beautiful set of minis, and I'm going to apologise for crinkling if you've got headphones on, but I'm using this lovely set from Bumbling Yarns, which was a gift from Angela. I think this will be a great opportunity to pick up one of my 12 cast-ons projects and try to make some progress. And actually I think this at the moment could be a good sort of on the go, out and about project at this point in time, so fairly portable. So I think that is going to be the project that I'm going to pick for the shawl prompt, and that's living in a lovely Eldenwood Craft project bag, which I picked up at the Knit Tea Retreat, hence I've got a Knit Tea Retreat badge on that project bag. So yeah, I'm actually really hopeful that I will be able to carve out some time to work on that, because it's one that I haven't picked up since I cast it on in December, and the pattern was a lovely gift from my friend Jen. As I say, the yarn was a gift. So yeah, I think it would just be a really lovely time sitting, knitting, thinking about my friends, and hopefully making progress on one of my 12 cast on projects. And then the last prompt is number 10, which says let YouTube decide. So the idea behind that was for me to get the community involved and to get you who are watching to pick a project for me to work on, and so that's what I'm going to do. Again, I've had a quick look through my Ravelry projects list, and rather than just get you to randomly pick one of the like 20 or so works in progress, I'm going to ask you to vote on a choice of 2 different projects. And again, these are both from my 12 cast-ons, and these have both not been touched since I cast them on. Really love to work on either of these projects, but yeah, I would love for you to decide for me what I might work on. And what I think I'll do is I shall obviously put the video up, and then maybe the last week of September I shall come back and count up all the votes, and for the last week in September I shall try and make as much progress on one or other of these projects, whichever is the most popular choice. So number 1, and I might put some pictures of the finished projects up on the screen, because I think maybe that will hopefully help you decide which one you would like to see some progress on. So the first is the Varia Mitts, which is a pattern by Erica M. Hauser, and they are a lovely pair of colourwork mittens that have a beautiful owl design on them. And I cast these on for day 8 of my 12 cast-ons, and I didn't really get very far. Just a little bit of the cuff colourwork done. And I'm using, I believe, this brown, the background brown is by Yantan Tethery Yarns, and it was part of a 2-set, so it came with this white yarn, and I think it was designed as a mitten set or a sock set. I'm also using this mini skein, which I think, although I'm not 100% sure now because I don't seem to have a label in my bag, maybe I've got a note of it on my Ravelry page, but I believe this may have been a mini from Colourful Creativity, my lovely friend Caroline. Let me try and look that up quickly so I don't get it wrong. Hopefully I've made a note. Yes. So this was from one of Caroline's mini sets, and it's this amazing bubblegum blue which is completely blowing out on the screen, but I think it looks really nice with that brown from Yantan Tethera. So yes, that's the first project that I'm asking you to pick from, and that is coincidentally living in another Eldenwood Crafts project bag. Not sponsored by Emma, just a fan. And then the second project is living in a Lone Larch project bag, which I have had for the longest time, and I love this one because it has some of my favourite orangey colours, some beautiful deer, and if you have followed the channel for any length of time, anytime I see a deer I like to pretend they're a moose because I love moose and I'm a bit weird. And in this bag is living the Driftlines cowl. It's Driftlines cowl. And again, I shall pop a picture up on the screen. I'm just trying to find out who the designer is because it doesn't say on the pattern. So it's a Shannon Cook pattern, Driftlines. And I, again, made a teeny tiny start on this on day 7 of my 12 cast-ons, and that is all I managed, which, given this is a slightly thicker yarn, is a little bit of a poor effort really, but hey, some days are like that, aren't they? I'm knitting this from some lovely Rowan yarn, which was a kind gift from the lovely Mairead. Hi Mairead, if you're watching. So it is Rowan, I think it's called Chunky Chenille or something. There's a sticky label with the yarn with the fibre content right over the name of the yarn, but yeah, it was quite an old Rowan yarn, and Mairead was having a de-stash and she found these and said that she'd thought of me because of the beautiful orangey colour, so would I like to have them. So of course I couldn't turn down the opportunity, and it's knitting up beautifully. It's this tweedy colour. It's just so pretty. Again, I think either of these projects would be nice to take around with me as portable knitting at the moment because they're both quite small. And so yeah, please let me know in the comments below if you have a preference to see me make some progress on either the Varia mitts or the Driftlines cowl. So yeah, that's kind of everything really. It's quite a short video. I'm going to be working on a sweater, which is my test knit. I'll be working on a shawl. I'll be casting on something new maybe in the future, and then I'm leaving it up to you to decide whether I work on a pair of mitts or a cowl. So that should be quite a good variety for me to work on throughout September. Please do let me know in the comments below what you're going to be working on in September. I love to know, I love to be inspired by all of your lovely projects. Whatever you decide to work on in the coming weeks, I hope it brings you a lot of joy. I shall be back here again on the channel soon with some more making content. I am so behind on doing my making wrap-ups. I think I'm going to combine a couple of months and have a knitting wrap-up and a separate video for my spinning wrap-up because yeah, time has just gotten away from me the last couple of months and not been good at doing those videos. So yeah, those videos will definitely be coming up here on the channel soon, and I've got some other things in the works as well, so there'll be lots of things to come here. I hope that you will join me for the next one, but until we do get to spend time together again, I hope you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now. Bye.